Hey guys, how the hell are you? And welcome back to Arnold Drinks. My name is Arnold. Tonight, I drink. And welcome one and all to the first of a new segment, Mini Bottle Monday. So mini bottles, we know what they are. They're 50 milliliters. Sometimes you can find them in 100 milliliter varieties. But basically, we shouldn't be discounting or discrediting these because, they're little teeny tiny bottles. Sometimes you maybe don't want to throw down on a fifth just to add something to the wall. What if you buy something that's bad? What if you buy something that you've never heard of before? What if you have the opportunity to try something at a lower cost and at a lower volume to see if you really like it first before you add something to the wall? That is basically why I want to do this video, just to kind of remind you guys that, hey, this is an option to try something potentially awesome. And today we are going to be drinking Texas Single-Malt Pot Distilled Whiskey from Balcones. So this is coming at us from Balcones Distilling in Waco, Texas. Let's dive into this whiskey because this is something where I've tried some of the pot distilled stuff that they've had, some of the regular bourbons that they have, and I wouldn't say it was bad necessarily. I would just say that it wasn't the most impressive thing I've tried. So a few people have mentioned that, hey, this Balcones single malt that they make, which, by the way, actually does have an age statement right on the mini, aged at least 24 months in oak. So, rather young whiskey, 2 years old. A few people have mentioned, hey, you really ought to try the single malt. You like your scotch, you like Irish whiskeys, you should really give that single malt a shot and see if you dig it. Maybe pick up a store pick at some point. I'm like, okay. So there again, going back to what I was mentioning, hadn't had the best of luck with Balcones up to this point. Found a mini bottle in a store recently, so I was like, okay, there you go. There's my level of commitment. So that proofage kind of hits right away. It is 53% alcohol by volume, meaning that it is 106 proof. And right off the bat, there is a little bit of an ethanol burn that happens. But at the same time, there's kind of like a dusty floral honey note that's present right off the bat. Little bit of baked goods in there too, like deep fried baked goods of some sort. Not necessarily like, see, when I think of donuts, I think of glazed donuts, and that's not what I'm getting out of this. Not quite in that same ballpark, because there's a little bit of a fruitier edge to it too. Almost like there's a peach note that's in there too. So that's wanting to come out and play as well. Overall, not bad on the nose. A little bit subdued because of that earthiness that's in there. So that's rather interesting. So as far as a single malt goes, it's got a smokiness to it, but this being a single malt, it's something that is a little bit more closely related to scotches and Irish whiskeys. It does bear mentioning, it should be clarified rather, that the smokiness I'm getting out of this is not an earthy, peaty smokiness. It's more like a barbecue smokiness. It's meaty, it's hefty, it's got weight to it, it's got char to it. Almost like charred or burnt ends, burnt brisket ends. That's a really good way of putting it. Burnt brisket ends, a little bit of sauce that's drizzled on there too. Something that has a little bit of a saltiness to it, but at the same time a little bit of a sweetness, like a honey, spicy barbecue glaze, something like that. Definitely that wildflower honey is still coming through in the flavor profile. Getting a little bit of something else underneath it, almost like kind of a nutty dessert that really wants to come out, but that char is kind of holding it back. That char is really the most predominant note that you get out of this. It's not bad, it's just interesting, it's different, it's something that I haven't really had from a whiskey up to this point. Let's go in for another sip. Tons of astringency. It's definitely very mouth drying. There's definitely a heavy amount of alcohol burn that happens. A little bit hotter than the 106 proof would lead you to believe, if you ask me. So it's definitely somewhere you get a little bit of burn. It actually kind of helps promote that sort of burnt ends kind of flavor profile. It brings that a little bit more forth. On the back end, as you're swallowing it down, a little bit of spice comes out to play that honestly isn't really as present in the palate. Get a little bit more of that honey coming through too. A little bit of a fruitier something. What is that? Maybe like a peach apricot brandy kind of thing that's in there. That's a little bit of the vibe that I'm getting there. Mostly still that burnt end, but maybe a little bit of like an apricot peach brandy. I'll tell you what, that is powerful. And it's powerful because of the flavor notes that are present and the alcohol. The alcohol content is doing what it's supposed to do. It's not higher proof for the sake of being higher proof. It's higher proof with a purpose. It's bringing forth that flavor profile and making it a little bit more prominent, making it a little bit more harder hitting. If that's the sort of flavor profile that you're into, that more of like a barbecue whiskey, something that you can drink with your meats fresh off the grill, that might actually be a fantastic option for you. As it stands for me, it's just something that's a little bit more interesting. I don't quite know how I feel about that because it's one of those things where I haven't yet experienced that from a whiskey. I've noticed a lot of different sweet notes, a lot of different fruit notes, a lot of different, even sort of otherwise hefty notes like tobacco, and that's maybe what's in there. There's a little bit of like a slight cigar-y kind of tobacco-y note that's in there. It's just a little bit of pungently sweet, but hefty and with some meat behind it. That's making a little bit more sense, but somewhat enjoyable. I don't want to say completely enjoyable. I don't want to fully say, oh my god, this is awesome, because it's definitely something that is so unique and so interesting. I feel like I would need to be in the right mood for this. But if I'm in the right mood, I can see this being just the thing that totally hits the spot. So, yeah, there it is. So thank you guys so very much for tuning into this first episode of Mini Bottle Monday. As always, please remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel, help this channel grow, share these videos, let all of your friends that are into whiskeys and brews know that there's a new game in town, and I would absolutely love for you to come in and check out these videos, check out this channel, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. And as always, please remember, take what you do seriously, do not take yourselves too seriously.